welcome back to the finale. We are just putting the results in, getting the players onto table one, and then we will be getting into the final match. Who's going to win the Navy playmat? Actually, a very nice playmat. Obviously, it's going to be one of X in the world for the time being until more regionals come through. But yeah, we've kind of blazed through this today. Obviously, top 16 obviously took a little bit longer, but then getting into the top 8 because there was only red decks available. People finishing a best of 3 in 30-40 minutes. Like, you know, it's kind of gone crazy. But guys, if you missed any of the action, all VODs will be on TAC's YouTube page. Make sure you follow them and they'll obviously give you a notification when it goes up, but I'm sure we'll be sharing it around. And all top 16 deck lists will be on our Facebook page, double sleeved if you haven't already checked it out. Check it out, guys. And we'll probably be bringing you more commentary as it goes through for One Piece. We also do obviously Dragon Ball, and then we'll make sure to get some of those deck profiles up as well on our YouTube page and try to cover all our bases, right? Whatever we can. There was a Ivankov, a Kid, and also a Kaido in the top 16. So we're going to try and reach out to those players. Obviously, they're not here anymore. They did lose in the top 16 match, but if it's not us, someone might be able to get those deck profiles done on the YouTube. So hopefully we can get that done and we'll go from there. But yeah, we're going to talk about the finals now, right? This is what they're playing for. If you're just tuning in, guys, we won't give you too many spoilers if you want to go watch them. But yeah, we're looking at a Zoro Whitebeard final.
Not one we've seen. Oh, we did have this one on stream, didn't we? A couple rounds prior, I believe.
Zoro Whitebeard?
Yeah.
We did have one game. Don't know if it was any of the players that were actually on stream that are going to be back on stream now, though. Just going to find out the names for you guys, and then we can actually determine if they were the players that were on stream this morning. But super smooth event. Obviously, shout out to TAC Games. 340-ish players, I think, rocked up, which is one of the biggest we've had for any Bandai game. It is the biggest we've had for any Bandai game since we've been around. And I can only see it obviously going further. We've got Brisbane Regionals in 2 weeks.
Treasure Cup
online next month, and then I think there's an online regional as well, and we'll try to bring you all the coverage from that as well and pair up with TAC Games to make sure that we can bring you the commentary for that and get you guys involved with that as well. But wasn't a full red top 16, it was a full red top 8. The other coloured leaders dropped in the top 16 round, so purple, blue, and I think possibly 2 greens were in the top 16, and all of them lost to a red deck. So, yeah.
I mean, that just shows the strength of red. That it does. We knew this going into it that there was going to be lots of Whitebeard and Zoro coming in, and we had a couple of players travel to play this event as well, and a lot of them making a showcase within that top 16. And, going all the way to the finals.
Yeah, I think the last 2 players that we're going to get on stream for the finals are from
Singapore, I believe.
International, Singapore players. So they've made the flight down here. Hats off to them. I mean, you fly down, you put the effort in, you put the time in,
put your money on the line.
Put the money on the line. You know, you're already at a slight disadvantage, I guess you could say, in terms of jet lag. The input that you put. I see them walking around with their suitcases still, and they're playing for the mat. Like they've got their serial Luffy. They've already locked that in the finalist stamp pack.
Don't forget the championship stamp pack as well.
The championship stamp pack as well. There's a lot to play on this game. So as the players are making their way onto the table now, we're just having a look. Still a minute or 2 away. I guess we'll just we'll just talk about set 3, right? Like it's one of those things. Even though we haven't played too much of set 2, the meta's solved.
It's figured out.
Yeah.
At this point, absolutely. We've got the ban of boat coming in as soon as set 3 kicks off, but from what I've seen with some of the Whitebeards that we've had on stream and throughout the top 16,
don't need Moby Dick.
Opting not to run it anyway. So they're already prepared for this boat ban that's coming in. And it's still showing that Whitebeard's still powerful.
Can still do it. Can still take it away. Absolutely. So It's going to be an interesting one to see how the meta obviously shapes up with set 3. We're still a while away anyway. We're about 2 months now. I think it's the end of June.
I believe so,
for OP3, and people are already getting their deck lists prepped, already figuring out what cards they need from previous sets. But enough of that. Obviously, we are jumping into the final round here. Steven versus Jasper. We've had both of these players on stream. So we've definitely seen both decks here.
Jasper was able to take down Ben, the Luffy player.
Yes, just previously.
And Stefan took down the other Zoro, I believe.
I do believe so. Steven was just on... was that the... Oh, yes, that was the Whitebeard that actually was at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Lost first game,
and then
came back 2-1.
Yeah.
Came back 2-0, I guess you could say. 2 in a row to secure that and won his next round. So both these players, very skilled.
Yeah.
Highly proficient in what their plan is and what their play style is. You can kind of see how clean they are in their actions.
Yeah. And for the next few turns
exactly
ahead, not even just thinking about what they want to do for their turn, what their opponent's most likely going to be doing, and how to play around that as best as they can.
Yeah, and they've made it to the finals, right? They've
probably tested against each other, a number of times. These guys did travel together, so it's fair to assume that they've probably played this matchup and these decks a fair bit.
Maybe in the hotel.
Yeah, exactly. So probably pretty comfortable with what each other are playing, and to some extent the ratios as well.
True. Obviously, deck lists haven't been revealed yet.
Yeah.
So everyone was obviously at that same slate of not knowing what cards your opponent runs or what type of package Zoro runs or Whitebeard runs to make it obviously an even playing field.
Which I do prefer. I know that some events do to get into the top card. They give you the opponent's deck list, so you get a couple of minutes to read over it. I do prefer this kind of...
being blind.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
You played the whole 2 days and it relies on your knowledge and your matchups.
Yep.
That should continue into the top 16.
Yep.
Because if you've got some kind of interesting tech that deals with specific matchups, you don't want that revealed before we kind of get the game started.
I agree. So, and in that case, even when we watched Steven on stream before, we kind of spoke about how for one Don he didn't have anything. You mentioned he's not playing any of these weenies, but then in game 3, all of a sudden he had an army in hand, and we didn't see it for the first 2 games.
Yeah.
So there is still that element of, has he not seen it or is he not running it?
Yeah.
And I think both players looking at hard mulliganing here.
Yeah.
Not liking what they saw, and I'm not too sure who actually gets priority to go first.
Yeah, I don't remember the
Jasper?
seeding. Okay.
Jasper gets to go first.
Jasper will decide who goes first.
Yeah, he gets to decide. And this is the thing, right? Zoro does like going first, but he can also pressure Steven into going first, and making him take that life. Yeah.
Suboptimal turn 1.
But he does get to the Newgate SR earlier, 1 turn earlier. But it just depends, how you feel it's going to benefit you, right? It's all about how is it going to help you more?
Yeah, and it's great to have that option available. I'm sure every single player in the room yesterday would have loved to have the option to go first or second.
And there it is. Obviously, Jasper giving Steven first turn priority, and Steven finding that Nami off the hard mulligan and being able to grab a Nico Robin off the top 5. Beautiful.
Yeah, and then adding that extra card from life.
Yep.
Into Zoro's turn.
So a 1-for-1 off the Nami, replenishing your hand size. Obviously, you've got not really board presence. I wouldn't really call it, but...
Well, I would. I mean, if you start swinging with some of these Zoros, some of these Namis and Sunny Kuns on the Zoro's field, the Nami can put pressure onto those cards.
Yeah, you are right, because obviously people do decide to
rest Makino to power up some other things. So it just alleviates the pressure that you don't have to swing with the Whitebeard into some of these weenies. You've got the Nami on field to remove them.
Yep. And you see there that he puts the Rush Zoro into hand, and Jasper tapping out the second and playing to Gordon, and we see that as a very, very popular turn 1 play if you're going second.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of these red decks opt to play that Gordon turn 1 or 2 for those later on turns.
And if you're Steven here, I mean, the most popular play is going to be the Nico Robin for 3. Obviously, we saw him grab it from the Nami, but also playing the Curly and then another 1-drop if you have it, which I don't think Steven does run a lot of 1-drops anyway. But so many things you can do now for 2 Don, 3 Don, and just help you really like gain control of the game now. So that Nico Robin sitting there.
Just another way to clear this low-cost Zoro field.
Yep.
And a great way to deal with that Gordon as well, which can very easily...
and there you go. Jasper's choosing. I was about to say, does he have the curl, the Vista? And yeah, he does.
Finding a way to get that Robin off the field. Decent-sized hand from Whitebeard already.
Of course.
So, has so many options to be able to get out of these early attacks.
Having to use a 2K to get out of a 6K swing never feels good, but with the amount of combo cards that you have in your deck already, it's not a big problem at all. Yeah,
especially when you're running so many 2K counters as well, and very few 1Ks. It's going to come up where you need it over counter with these 2Ks as well. But you've got so many of them.
Exactly.
You're fine with that.
And yeah, Zoro just opting to swing in with 6.
Yep.
Gets rid of the
You've got a 1K that just got taken off life.
Yeah. And he's more than happy with that.
Yeah. Probably signals to Jasper that that's the card that he took off life as well, considering he committed a 2K counter
earlier.
Prior.
Yeah, correct. And now tapping 3 for the Rush Zoro. Already having one under leader.
Another 6.
Yep.
We'll see a 2K here.
Yeah, I was about to say, and putting the pressure on now.
Makino.
There's a Makino.
Yep. And now that Nami can freely swing into that, or the other Nami as well.
Yep. And the pressure that Jasper is putting on here is immense.
Yeah.
It's board's full. You've now got the Gordon on field, the Makino as well. Both need to be dealt with. Makino probably priority to be dealt with. And even the Rush Zoro needs to be dealt with if you're Steven here, right?
Yeah, and it does take a bit of that pressure off, the life, because Whitebeard's probably going to have to focus a little bit on the board here.
Yep.
If Zoro can comfortably, establish a 9-drop SR with 2 or 3 life, then they could be in a pretty good position to kind of continue to pressure Stefan.
Yeah.
And take out some of that extra life.
Yeah. And just taking this time now to think like what the ideal play is, and going to go for the Nami swing into the Makino. And it's kind of like what you said, right? You were saying the Nami, you get the Searcher off it, and you get to alleviate some pressure afterwards. Value for one. Yeah. Like, name a better card for one.
Ace comes down, makes it very easy to remove the character Zoro.
Yep. And 2K combo from the leader swing, now being able to swing with Ace, and then taking that life. So it looks like Steven is left on 2. And he's dealt with the board as well as he could. He got the Rush Zoro away. He's obviously got the Makino away.
Yep.
So now the Nami is probably just going to get swap Namis with Steven. But the question is, if you're Jasper, what is your plan here? You're staring down a 7K in Ace, a 6K Luffy, a 6K leader.
Going into 9 Don.
Going into 9 Don in the next one.
I think this might get into the point where you start committing into trying to deal damage.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to clear the board up.
It's a lot of resources to try and clear this board, right?
Yeah, and he's got so many counter cards in hand that if you do commit to clearing the board and he counters out of it, then you've just lost a whole turn.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Gordon just going to get rid of Nami. Might be planning to play something then. If he's swinging with Gordon, he might actually decide to bottom deck it.
Yeah.
And then try and maybe pop another card on field, considering that he could have also swung with Nami if he wanted to. And he's gonna decide to.
Yep. Minus 3K on the Ace.
Yep. Bringing it to 4. Maybe he's just gonna swing into it now.
Yeah, 6K leader swing into it.
Yep. Even Vista, if he wanted to. Vista's now 4K.
Yeah, Vista is now 4K in combination with the leader attack. Yeah, leader effect.
Still dwindles his hand size down if he wants to keep it alive.
Yep.
And yeah, he's gonna go for it now. I mean, the Vista's not really doing anything else. It's not going to be able to go for any threat unless he puts another 2 Don underneath.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's 1 King Dew out of the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And for Stephen, no real, not much resources used to save that ace, right? Just 1k out of the hand. If his leader wants to swing into the ace again now, he's feeling very, very comfortable.
Yeah, it allows him to set up that white bid SR the following turn and still sit with 2 life, which is pretty comfortable with a board state that Zoro has at the moment.
Yeah.
Because you can very easily clear this Vista, sit at 8k, and even some kind of combination of rush attackers is still going to be very difficult to close out the game.
Yeah, and now Zoro swinging in for 8.
Yeah,
and Stephen just kind of confirming where he's going, and he's going for life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So switched it up from this this attempt to clear the board.
Yeah,
into
the focus on ace. There you go.
Powering up the Nami. Okay.
Yep. So maybe still he had the backup option of going for the ace.
But I mean, he did just give them an extra card in hand.
I was about to say, would you have not swung the Nami and played this combo before going for life?
A bit of like a indecisiveness from Jasper just about where he wants to take this turn.
Maybe he was hoping that Stephen actually used cards from his hand to not take that life, right? Oh wow, he's just attached.
Committing,
Yeah, he's gone for the interesting.
Doesn't feel like he can close out, clear that board. Perhaps just trying to wrap it up the next turn. If you want to pay 9 for your whitebeard SR,
I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to have enough counter to get out of a 15k attack.
I feel like if Stephen has a rush card here and he's got 4 bodies on the board, that's 6, 6, 7, and possibly 6 again. If he's got the Luffy rush with 5 Don available.
At a minimum, yeah.
You need 3 of these 4 to go through, right? There's no blockers on field.
Yep.
Jasper has about, I think it was 4 or 5 cards. No Don available.
Any event cards in hand are now dead unless they're resolved off a trigger.
And he does have the rush Luffy in Stephen's hand.
Perhaps feels like he's backed into a corner where he does need to close out the game here.
And he's just kind of gonna try and chip away now and see the reaction that he gets from Jasper.
Yeah, and you assume that Stephen assumes that Jasper has the whitebeard SR in hand.
Correct.
Jasper assumes that Stephen has it in hand.
Correct.
Also, so that's you're taking 1 card out of the equation essentially.
Correct. And here he goes. So he's got 2 cards out of Jasper's hand.
Yeah, we might see a 7k swing.
Yep. Oh, wow. And now if he pays 5 for the rush Luffy, and then attaches the rest of the Don, which is 6, 7, so another 3.
It might only be
9k.
7 or 8k. Oh yeah, 8 or 9k.
It'll be a 9k. Oh no, he's still got 1 Don separated. There you go, sorry. So it'll be an 8k.
8k attack.
And he's just, okay.
Unless you don't commit, sit behind some radical beams here, and
if he has
just swing. I think he's got 1 that I saw,
but that's not enough to save you when you're on 0 life. I feel like Stephen's in that backed up position again.
Depending on how many kind of 2k counters he has in hand.
But
you have to get out of a 15k. You have to be prepared, or you go in with an AK swing.
Exactly right. Like you're looking at Jasper's hand, he's got 5 cards, right? He's playing red. You know that there's a lot of cards that don't have combo power.
6k into the Vista. So he obviously feels comfortable that he can get out of a 15k attack and win the following turn.
I mean,
or this is the biggest bait.
Yeah,
this is the biggest bait that we've seen in top 16.
I feel like he might be baiting here, and Jasper's like, I don't care. You want to? He's like, I know you. you are baiting me here, bro. And we're going to find out. I mean, Jasper was the one that just done this previous games, right? Just dumped all the Don underneath the leader and he's like, I'm swinging. I don't care.
You either have it or you don't.
Correct. So it's 15 into 6. He needs 10k to get out of this. 2 Don active.
A radical beam will put him to 10 and 3 2k counters.
Yeah, gets him out of it.
Attack.
I don't know if I saw 3 2ks. I saw 1 Brook.
Yeah. But he did leave the 2 Don inactive as well. Could he perhaps have a double radical beam? Would be disgusting. That's a double radical beam.
That's a pack it up game 2 situation.
Yeah, you let me know if I'm going first or second, and we just get this underway.
Oh man!
I think Jasper's going through it at the moment. He knows that there is. You have to go for it now. You've got a Luffy, Ace, and the skillless Luffy on field.
Oh, you're losing next turn.
You cannot go through the next turn.
You're losing next turn. Even if you play a Whitebeard SR, you are losing next turn.
And any kind of combination of putting Don under the Nami and Dadan is just not going to be enough to really play. You can't get multiple 6k swings in here.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Well, you get one. 14.
Radical gets
Radical
into 10.
Beam, yeah.
It's got double Radical Beam.
He does have double Radical Beam.
He knew. 10, 14.
Yeah.
You have the Robin.
Yeah.
Another 6k attack.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly it. Fair play.
Yeah,
fair play. Stephen knew that if he's got enough,
Very
and that is
comfortable to sit behind that double Radical Beam.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, as your opponent, as Jasper, you kind of think to yourself, it's like, if you have it, you have it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You still need another combination of a 2k and a 1k counter to get out of that attack.
Yep.
So Jasper probably feels you've got the double Radical Beam. That's no worries.
Yeah.
Do you have the other counter?
Jasper.
Do you have the other cards to get out of this attack?
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, it is very, again, you're either going to win or lose in the matter of one turn.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all building up towards that. Stephen put Jasper in a position where my board state is so dominating that you have to go for it here.
Correct. Like, it's not even a bait. It's literally like, I'm giving you one line of play.
Yep.
And I've covered that line of play.
Exactly.
I do not care what you do on your next turn.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it. Like,
and I'll show you the cards.
I mean, the only side of that would have been like if he accidentally used at least one of those dons or two of those dons for something else and didn't think. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're thinking of so many turns ahead.
Yeah,
you put one extra don, one extra don onto the Luffy attack, and suddenly you don't have enough to double Radical.
But here's where it's going to get interesting.
Of course,
Steven. Most likely going to go to second, and he's already comfortably sitting on a 1-0.
Jasper will decide, actually. Sorry, Jasper will probably force him to go first.
True. Sorry, you're right. Sorry.
Yep.
He's got the Nami in hand. This man does not care.
Yeah.
This man does not care. He's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, bro.
Let me show you exactly what we
Zoro
did.
Rush, baby. He's got the Brook. I did see a Brook.
We haven't seen many Brooks actually.
No.
Whitebeard. Yeah, he must be just running one or two of.
I think even Jasper kind of said, of course. You got the Nami one drop. You get the Brook. Of course you did, bro. Nice turn one.
Show me the Robin.
Yeah.
Show me the Robin.
And there you go. Jasper actually top decks a Nami, but he decides obviously for the two.
Yeah.
You have to.
Value out of both.
You have to.
There. Oh, lucky.
Wow.
Lucky that he saw that tower at the end.
But that means was it the jet pistol that goes to the bottom now?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because the deck doesn't shuffle, you know that now one of them is at the bottom of the deck, right? That's the other thing with One Piece. It's kind of like, you do look at 5, you grab one, if you can grab one, but the rest of them that you can't take are now at the bottom, and there's no real shuffle your deck cards.
Yeah, it's very difficult to cycle all the way to the bottom unless you're green.
Yep.
And you have, a Momo and a Bonnie to be able to continuously search the top 5.
Yep. Second Nami coming in from Steven. Gonna grab the Rush Luffy and set himself up for a very nice next turn, depending on what he does with this 2 Don.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Might just literally attach it and then go for an 8k swing. Yeah, you got nothing else to do.
You don't really have
You got nothing else to do. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Adding those cards to hand, you can see so much counter power in Whitebeard's hand already with double Brooks. And
it's funny to see people avoid like playing the 9-cost Newgate SR.
Yeah.
It really does give you a false sense of confidence in some matches. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the card is still amazing. But, in both of those turns, when you get to 9, 10, you don't even, think about it anymore.
Yeah, it just depends on what state your life's at, really. Depending, the higher the amount of life that you have, the more comfortable you feel to play that Whitebeard SR.
Yep.
And then just take control of the game from there.
Yep. And the interesting point here is we're sitting at 5 life now.
Yeah.
If Steven wants to pay 5 for the rush Luffy, swing with the lead to try and take away some damage, and he's going to absolutely do that. And put him into a position where he's just sitting at 3, but he does have an Otama in hand.
Yeah, just burn some of these 2k counters and establish a card that, with the current board state of Zoro, is a little bit difficult to remove unless we start seeing a Gordon come down.
And now it looks like Nico Robin is probably going to be swinging. He's probably going to put one Don underneath lead, probably put one under Nico.
Yeah.
Swing with Nico to try and get the Luffy off the field and then pop a Nami at the same time.
I think that a Gordon will come down, reduce the Luffy down to 3, and then Nami can swing into the leader, 6k, and pop the Luffy.
Interesting.
We'll see how Jasper decides to take this.
Yeah, depending on what cards he obviously has in his hand.
Yeah.
He's got his own Nico, another
there
Nico
is a Gordon
Robin.
in there.
Yeah.
But do you want to commit the Gordon here, or do you want to save it for later on? You know that a Jet Pistol's gone to the bottom, so it's going to be difficult to remove a Whitebeard SR if you're thinking of that kind of combination.
Yep.
But,
he is. Yeah, he is. Okay.
And now you're getting the value off the Nico swing into a leader. You're not too worried about these Namis at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try and get a card out
why
of
not?
hand.
Yeah, why not? I mean, Curly's doing nothing on the field anyway, right?
Exactly.
You might as well just
And that way we can
even better.
Remove a. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I needed to. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Just.
He's choosing to.
Yeah. Yeah, deciding to use the 1k counters as opposed to the 2k.
Yep, and it does make sense, right? Like in certain situations, 2Ks can be a lot more. Like for one card.
Yeah, but I mean, you did just reveal an Otama in hand.
Yeah,
it went back. That back and forth, it shows a bit of nerves as well from Steven's side.
Yeah,
obviously you've got the end in sight. You're so close to being able to take this away.
Yep. And I feel like, I don't know, in that situation, that's revealing knowledge that doesn't, I guess, need to be necessarily revealed, right?
Absolutely,
like
of course.
I'm not sure how that interaction works with, how far you can kind of go with like putting it down and then bringing it back up and stuff like that. But
these guys do know each other.
Also don't
that does
care.
Play a big part of it as well.
And it's the finals, right? Like,
of course, yeah. Just being able to establish a pretty comfortable kind of field here on Zoro's side. We've successfully removed the Luffy.
Yeah.
We've got a comfortable amount of cards out of the Whitebeard's hand.
Yep.
Not only do we remove the 2 1k cards as opposed to the Otama, but it also is 1 card less in hand.
Yep.
Now when we're doing our math, that's 1 less card to worry about. Because if you're holding 2 1k cards, well, technically they could theoretically be 2 2ks.
Correct.
Or a Radical Beam or anything like that.
Correct.
A quick turn from Whitebeard, though.
Well, he just knew straight away. He negged the 2 cards, 3k.
Yeah.
Used the Nami to swing into the Nico Robin.
Yeah.
No-brainer.
Gordon swing. We'll get some value off the Gordon here to bring Ace down to 4k, I assume. And then, we've got some cards that can comfortably swing into that Ace and dwindle down Whitebeard's hand.
Mm-hmm.
So much Don to play with as well.
Yep. With little investment.
Yeah.
So much value.
Yeah. A lot of 2Ks left in Steven's hand, but they're very quickly going to get dwindled down if he wants to protect this ace. And you have to let it go there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't
waste more cards.
Absolutely
in
agree.
And then a 6k Zoro swing just removes
it. Jasper's still got 7 Don available, 2 life left on Steven. Sunny Kun
position.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sunny Kun is now going to be kind of in that range.
Yeah, it's in a 3k, but 4k with leader.
4 with the lead.
Yeah, only 2 Don just to get a card out of hand. Get a card out of hand.
Absolutely. And the leader's going to swing for 6 if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if he gets if he takes 1 damage here from Steven will take his last life. Right?
Yeah. You're going into 9 Don the following
turn.
Again, you're in a position where it's just not comfortable to play the Whitebeard SR. Yeah. And fear of what else might come down.
I mean, you know that Jasper and Steven are both running rush cards.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't feel safe enough
to ever be on 0 life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Especially when you're
knowing that I can see your board, it means nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make a big difference into the math. Playing against red compared to playing against blue, for example, where you just have to deal with whatever's on the field.
Yep.
There's no rush available at the moment.
Correct. Until we get Vivi.
Yeah.
But
Establishing the Nico.
Yep, why not? You've got 3 available. You've got 2 life, and he's going the Whitebeard. The
Feels
Whitebeard
safe
route.
enough to sit at 8k leader with 1 life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we do know that there's a minimum of 3 2k counters in hand.
For Stephen?
For Stephen,
yeah.
We've seen the double Brook. We've seen the Atama that bounced around a little bit.
Yeah, and Stephen does actually have another Whitebeard SR in hand.
Yeah.
So if he wants to go back to
back, yeah.
which isn't too bad either.
Depends on if you've got a Radical, I think.
Yeah, and but if he chips away here, so for example now, if Stephen doesn't take any damage here, which is going to be a bit hard, but next turn he's able to play a second Whitebeard. Leader goes back to 8k, so an 8k swing and a 10k swing. Jasper's on 1 life. He has to get out of one of those swings.
Yeah, you do.
Not a bad spot to be in now if you're Stephen.
But like we've said in the past, both of these decks have opted not to run any blockers. The option of event cards is quite minimal. Both kind of sticking to that Radical Beam at the moment.
Yeah.
Even if you opt not to play the Whitebeard SR for 9 Don, that's still 9 Don that you can utilize between these 2 cards
to go for game. You're absolutely right. And he might actually do that. He might swing with the 10k leader, see if he can manage to scrape through that last life.
Yeah.
And if he does,
2 Don
10
investment
goes into
that Whitebeard.
Exactly.
12k attack would demand, what's that? 8 cards worth of combo?
Yeah. 8k
worth of counter.
So if that's 4 2ks out of your opponent's hand, and you've only used 2 Don, sure. Absolutely. And Jasper's trying to think now. He's just all right, he's got 1 life.
Can I die next turn?
8k. The problem is with Jasper's board here, what are you looking at? You're looking at a 5. You're looking at a 5, 4, 3, and I think it's a 3 as well. So
this is a 10k swing into the lead. 2 cards can get out of this attack.
Yeah. And he does.
Yeah. To Brook and a King do there.
Yeah.
And now you're safe. I don't think there's any combination of cards that can win on this turn with the amount of 2k counters that Stephen has in hand still.
And now Jasper just should honestly play nothing.
I think he kind of knows.
Yeah, it goes to Nico Robin round for 7.
An 8k swing.
Oh, 8. Yeah, sorry, with the leader.
Yeah.
And trying to still bait out. There you go.
Yeah,
you know what?
Opting to
not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Leaving 2 up again for that, do I have it? Don't I have it? Jasper's hand does have about 7 cards in hand. He does obviously have one of the events in there.
We see the nerves kicking on Jasper's side.
He's staring down the barrel of a loss.
Yeah,
He's staring down the barrel of a loss. The championship is right here. You're playing for it.
Yeah.
And perhaps one for Gordon.
Yeah. I think he just knows that the position that he's in.
Gordon doesn't have counter anyway, right? So it's not. I mean, that's revealing to your opponent that.
Yeah, it's just one less card that they have to map out to close out this game. Yeah. I think there's some kind of combination between the 2 attacks on the field and this amount of Don.
Yeah.
That can close out the game.
I mean, you probably just see
Jasper
Stephen
still has a decent amount of cards in hand too, so
Stephen
probably is just thinking, how many 2Ks
he's trying to calculate how he can get 2 attacks at the same level of power. So now he's going to put 3 underneath the Newgate SR and make it 13.
And then,
no, he's just going to go for it and see what happens.
Let's just check.
If he gets 3 2K.
Yeah, 16k.
Yeah, that is game.
Stephen takes it down.
And that's the thing. I think I thought he would have had enough to get out of the first swing of the Newgate at 10.
I think he just knew that the 16k leader swing.
Yeah, but even then,
I guess so.
You get out of the 10. You get out of the 10, like 3 2Ks.
Yeah, just didn't
get to see the hand, but we did see. Obviously, there was 2 rush Luffys. 100%, I saw that.
Yeah.
Didn't get to see what else. There was the I think it was the jet pistol. I think.
Possibly.
As the third, so 3 dead cards already there, and the other 4 obviously he couldn't manage to get out of a
above,
out of a 5k combo. So
Whitebeard takes it. No, bro, not needed.
I think, and that's showing you, I guess, some scary things
of course,
for what's to come in set 3.
We've seen a ban take place to prevent this deck from dominating in the future.
And it doesn't matter.
And it shows that
it doesn't
we'll
matter.
just adjust.
Yeah, it does not matter. And it's crazy that people aren't like taking it to, like, while it's available, taking it to the event, dominating with it and showing why it's getting banned in set 3. Instead, they're completely pushing away from it. And then it's literally still strong as it is. Like, it's insane. But
we haven't seen it dominate throughout our event.
No,
there's definitely been a fair few Whitebeards. You know, by no means has it not been well represented, but players are always going to play with what they feel comfortable with as well. There's so many different colors that people prefer. But yeah, if you're picking red and bringing it to a large scale event, you're giving yourself the best chance to do well. Absolutely.
Like I said, it's got the toolbox to deal with literally every color. It's got like so many options for like turn 1, turn 2, turn 3.
The best searches, the best keyword skill being rush.
Yeah.
Especially in a game where
so many 2K combos. It just has so many answers to everything. And that's how it was. Like, it's done. It's dusted. That's brand new champion for the first regional. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens in 2 weeks. We've obviously got the next regional happening in 2 weeks down in Brisbane. Be very, very interesting to see if it's going to be another Whitebeard back-to-back, if it's going to be something else.
We saw Kinemon take the first online regional.
Correct. Kinemon was actually the one to beat, and now it's going to be Whitebeard. It's going to depend on how, obviously, everything goes. But yeah, top 8 was a sea of red. Top 16 obviously had trickles of other colours, but we will get you those breakdowns sometime in the next 24-ish hours. Maybe a little bit longer than that, depending on how quickly we can pump them out. But guys, if you missed out on any games, make sure you check out the TAC YouTube channel. They will have VODs of everything from today and yesterday. And check out the Double Sleeve Facebook page for the deck lists once we get those live. But again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today, tuning in yesterday. No matter how long or short you're in here for, we appreciate it, and looking forward to bringing you some more content in the next couple of weeks when we come back for it in Brisbane. So take care, guys. Thank you so much, and hopefully see you guys in the next stream.